Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. Here we've got a pair of running backs who are hoping their number will be called plenty in today's game. It's the Saints going up against the Bengals. For the call, let's send you out to the broadcast booth, where we'll join our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Larry, it's the NFL on EA Sports, and there you get a look at Paul Brown Stadium on the banks of the Ohio River in Cincinnati. This crowd loves their orange and black. The scene just a short time ago, they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football as the Bengals get set to do battle with the New Orleans Saints. Here's Randy Bullock now to put toe to leather, and we are underway from Cincinnati. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Drew Brees ready to bring out the New Orleans offense. And for Brees, his streak of 3 straight passing titles came to an end this season. He finished second, but still, he went over 70,000 passing yards for his career.
And I don't think he was unhappy about that streak coming to an end, because that meant the running game had gotten back into vogue for him. And Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara, they really had big years, allowed him to be way more comfortable throwing the football. He did have his 12th straight year over 4,000 yards, though, with 4,334. So all was not lost for Drew Brees.
He is a free agent. Saints could use the franchise tag on him, but he says he wants to be a Saint for the remainder of his career.
And if that organization is listening to that, make him a Saint for the rest of his career. It makes your team that much better.
Over the middle, open is Thomas. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. A good pickup there at 22.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you got lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. Let's get a quick look at the Saints offense.
Quarterback Drew Brees and head coach Sean Payton understand the passing game as well as anyone in the NFL, which led to a rating last year of #1 in passing and #1 in total overall offense. But the thing that they really do well is get the ball downfield. They understand holes in defenses, find receivers that way. But what they need to add, the running game back to their mix. When they went to the Super Bowl and won it, they were #6 in the NFL. Last season, #16.
And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Kevin Minter. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. They'll run here with Mixon. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it. Because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
To throw here, Dalton. And his throw is incomplete. Brandon LaFell, his intended target, and it's third down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense, as that fell harmlessly to the ground. Underneath, this is Bernard. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And this is picked up by the Saints.
ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed, as that's going to move the chains. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on. Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
Eluding the pressure right. And this is incomplete. He was trying to get it that time to Ted Ginn. And it'll bring up 3rd down. The defensive starters now for Cincinnati.
Adam Jones is a beguiling mix of talent and attitude. And put it all together, you get a terrific corner. 2015 Pro Bowler, and earlier in his career was an outstanding punt returner as well. You name it, Adam Jones could do it out on the corner.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, it's Breeze. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. On 1st down, Breeze. That's caught. It's Thomas. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. And the next snap coming inside the red zone here. Breeze to throw again. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Ted Ginn from 8 yards out. And the Saints have taken the early lead. Coming into the year, Breeze, 465 touchdown passes. Add another one to the total.
You know, it's funny. I just talked with his college head coach, and he told me that when Drew was a sophomore at Purdue, they weren't sure he was truly the starter, even though he started the opening game. And he made a play early in that one where the coach got on the headset and told the rest of the staff, well, fellas, we found our quarterback. Now we got to make sure we find the rest of our team.
Breeze hasn't looked back since. This fielded at the 2. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. I want to give a hat tip real quick, Charles, to J.J. Watt before the possession switches here. Walter Payton, NFL Man of the Year. They totaled up how much he helped raise for hurricane relief, $37 million.
Incredible. Hurricane Harvey, which really hit the Houston area in a big way, and his original goal was $200,000. So congratulations to J.J. Watt and all the people who participated. And Greg Olsen of the Panthers, Benjamin Watson of the Ravens, both tight ends, also nominated and finalists for the most prestigious award as determined by the NFL, the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award.
I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Dalton with a give here to Mixon. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
One thing rookies need to learn at this level, and quick, make a cut, be decisive, and go. Because in college, you could dance around and wait for a hole to open because you're probably a better athlete than most of the guys on the field, but not on the NFL level.
And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but For the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne to try and knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab him. That'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make some type of a play on him, make some type of contact to try and get his arms out of the sky.
A pretty good effort there, 9 yards, but not enough. We'll likely see the punt team now on 4th down. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. CD, I want to get your thoughts on some potential free agents this offseason before we change the possession here. Now, caution, many of these guys could be re-signed, I know, but who are some of them? Kirk Cousins is one.
Yeah, we're talking about difference makers. Kirk Cousins at the quarterback position. He's going to be coveted around the league by quarterback-needy teams. Case Keenum had a big year. Could he move? But how about running backs? Le'Veon Bell, Dion Lewis, some pass catchers, Jimmy Graham, Jarvis Landry, Sammy Watkins. And about the guy who goes and gets quarterbacks, DeMarcus Lawrence had a monster year for Dallas last season.
Yeah, a lot of big names that could be out there as free agents.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there, pick up the first down.
To throw is Breeze. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Thomas. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Breeze now, and he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you've got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. Here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. Did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. Charles, we got a second here to discuss Cincinnati as their offense works their way back out there. Marvin Lewis, many thought on the way out, but now a 2-year extension, and it's 2 straight years without them being in the playoffs after 5 straight in the playoffs. Were you surprised that Marvin Lewis was given the extension?
I actually was, because he was at the end of his contract, and I thought that that was a natural end point for he and the Bengals, especially since, as you framed it, back-to-back years without the playoffs, back-to-back years of 7 and 9. But getting the 2-year extension tells me they're ready to rebuild. Retool this team. They've got to get better in the offensive line. They've got to get better skill position players. The defense is going to undergo some more construction now. Got a new defensive coordinator coming in. So the coaching staff, players, a rebuild in Cincinnati, and they think Marvin Lewis is the guy to guide them.
They look to throw on 3rd with Dalton. And that's complete to LaFell. A Bengal first down, Dalton hitting LaFell. Great changeup there on the route and got that inside release, made it a successful pitch and catch.
Well, the first thing you want to do is have him thinking that you're going outside, make a move in that direction. Then you really don't run the route against the whole body of the defender. You run against a half of him, and the inside half, and he took it right across his face, got inside, and won that route in a big way.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion. 1 quarter in the books. 7-0 is our score. We'll return to Cincinnati after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Bengals with a football to begin quarter number 2. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. 2nd down, they need less than a yard to pick up the first. Off the play fake to Mixon. This is Dalton. He's going to sling this deep. He's got him in. Complete. 20. And he'll be down deep into New Orleans territory. A big play there for Cincinnati. 62 yards.
Usually hitting a deep post pattern, as we just saw there for a big gainer, that's tough to do because you usually have a safety or two in the middle of the field. But if you hit enough crossers and underneath routes and curls, you start to get those guys creeping up, wanting to make plays on the football. It's the equivalent of a changeup in baseball. You show your other stuff, throw the changeup, and on that play, it worked for big yardage.
And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
His pass caught at the 4. The reception good for 7. It's third down. Now the Bengals on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Passing, it's Dalton. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. And they got 3 yards. That's enough. A conversion, and now it's 1st and goal. Here's a run with Mixon, and he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals. A great play there, taking it in from a yard out. And the Bengals are an extra point away from tying up this football game. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. To return it, Alvin Kamara. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. New Orleans offense working its way back out there. As we look at them ahead to 2018, as that wound at the end of 2017 continues to heal, Charles, they're going to have Kamara, Ingram, Thomas. If they have Breeze back at quarterback, this should be an excellent squad again.
It certainly should, and frankly, if the offensive line comes back healthy and intact, that's another big win for them, especially with their 2 tackles, Teron Armstead at left tackle, Ryan Ramczyk, who was a rookie last season at right tackle. They are loaded going forward. If they could get a real playmaker at tight end, that might be the last piece. And if that happens, I'd hate to be a defensive coordinator trying to game plan for them.
And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up there to swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles.
No, you're actually counting on your big...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Vontaze Burfict. Past the 20, 10, and he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 from Bengals TD. Short throw pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be taken in at the 1. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So the football switching hands here in just a second. And, you know, Tom Brady, just to go off on a tangent for a second, may have lost the Super Bowl. But 3rd MVP this past season. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. G.O.A.T with a great push up front. He picks up the sack and a loss of 8.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. Quarterback was hit.
A good pickup there. 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right.
Ted Ginn's gonna go. The 30, the 20, 10, touchdown, New Orleans. Ted Ginn, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up. It was 3rd and medium. They popped the short pass, looking to pick up the first, accomplish that mission, and then they accomplished a lot more on that mission all the way for the score.
Let me focus in on one word you used, pop, right? They popped the short pass, and then what happened after that? They popped the big run. Because now, once he caught it, didn't have anyone else in the vicinity to bring him down, and he takes off, and he kept going. Nice gutsy call, even better execution.
Before the offense changes hands here, let's look back at the Super Bowl February 5th. What a game. I know you were there calling it offensively, though. Impressive on both sides.
It certainly was, and let's face it, if you're in Minnesota, it's cold outside, but you talk about the offenses, they heated up in a big way. And how about Nick Foles? The backup quarterback turned MVP. 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, and, of course, the big one receiving on the Philly special.
Quite a story. And as you and I were talking about off air, it was just a fluid game. Not a lot of penalties, just really clean play.
Exactly the type of game the NFL needed for the audiences at home watching the game and, of course, people in attendance. A really well-played game.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
They just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't it? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
Mixon, and running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. Well, that was better than the first go-around when he lost yardage, but still nothing there, and that sets up a 3rd and long. Tough spot here.
Put it mildly, sometimes I wonder if some of that old-school football should come back into play. You know what I would think here? Quick kick. Try and change field position, help out your team.
It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. Before the possession switches here, I had written down that I wanted to talk about some of the awards this past season in the NFL. We know Brady was the MVP, but Todd Gurley, Offensive Player of the Year.
How about that for a bounce back? Many were questioning whether he'd had a sophomore slump the season before. Didn't even get to 1,000 yards. Was a dominant force in 2017. How about his teammate Aaron Donald on the defensive side? He took home Defensive Player of the Year award.
Yeah, very impressive. They had both sides of the ball. Sean McVay deserving, I think you would agree, of Coach of the Year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what he did for the Rams when they went from last in the league in scoring to leading the league in scoring and winning a division title. And how about the New Orleans Saints? Rookie of the Year, offense and defense. Alvin Kamara on offense, Marshawn Lattimore on defense.
Now Kamara, and he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
They go play action here on 1st down. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 12 yards there as they move the chains. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician, Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this, or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
A reminder coming up here at halftime. We'll ship you off to Orlando. Larry Ridley will have first half highlights and analysis.
LR, plenty to show in this one.
Going to be a busy man at intermission. On 2nd down, here's Breeze. On the check down, he finds Kamara. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
The tight end Josh Hill was the target, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
It came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. Throwing the out route, incomplete. That's Thomas. Breeze on the hook up to Thomas for the New Orleans first.
When we watch Drew Brees practice, the thing that always strikes us is after every throw he makes, he continues to go through his progressions, you know, so he gets that muscle memory. Okay, in a game, if I don't have this throw I just made, I might have this one, I might have that one. It's amazing. One of the reasons he's come out so hot today, he's already seen it happen.
A gain of 6 there on first.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And that is incomplete.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great effort there. A 20-yard touchdown. And the Saints have moved out in front. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here. Dalton throwing on second down. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's third.
Not sure what you're thinking here, partner, but I believe the officials have done a nice job here getting together and then coming out and indicating that there was a receiver in the area.
Absolutely, and he was in the area. Correct call made. No grounding. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. And now the Saints are going to take a timeout on defense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on to punt for Cincinnati. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Saints will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Breeze now on first down. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. Now Breeze throwing on second down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. Throwing on first down is Breeze. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and get some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. On third down, here's Kamara. Kamara's got the first down and then some. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. The final shot before half for Breeze. And this one's incomplete. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Saints out on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando as we check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Okay, Brandon. Thanks, and welcome everyone to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get to the highlights. The Bengals trail at home at halftime. The Saints have looked good on the road and will just try to keep the ball rolling in the second half. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Saints opening up on offense. Thomas has got the catch in traffic, and he won't be brought down until he makes it to their own 46-yard line. Now following the interception, Bernard's got the grab, but fumbles here. He'll make it right to midfield and then duck out of bounds. Now after the fumble, Gann's able to get open here, and he caps off the 6-play drive with the score. As they get out to a 7-0 lead. Bengals with it now early in the second. On the carry, there goes Joe Mixon. And he capped off the 8-play drive with the TD. Saints take it early in the second. Here the throw is hurried and picked off. Bengals will take it back for the touchdown. That takes the lead up to 7. Saints have it midway through the second. Gann's able to haul in the contested pass. And he caps off the 2-play drive with the score. As that ties things at 14-all. Down to late in the first half. Breeze is on target here, and he'll be tackled at the 26-yard line. Staying late in the second. Broken coverage here on the pass play. And this play goes for a score. That puts them up by a touchdown. So that's it for us at the EA Sports Studio. We'll go back now to Paul Brown Stadium for the start of the second half.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. They'll stay on the ground, Mixon again. And the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
It's a gain of 3, and it gets him the first.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Oh, good move. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they got to turn their attention to getting it back in that.
And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. Sheldon Rankins breaking through to get him for a loss of 7. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
Caught Eifert over the middle. And he's brought down. 18 yards on that one, and the Bengals are moving. First down.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. And how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for sack.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Now they run with Mixon. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 9 yards on the gain there, so from 2nd and 19, now we've got a 3rd and 10. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And that'll set him back 5. Now the Bengals on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This will be 3rd and 15. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. He drops it off for Bernard. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. Call it a gain of 5. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
And that was a nice catch, and if the goal was to get into field goal range, it certainly appears that they accomplished that.
Well, and sometimes that's what you dial up in these situations, right, when you want 3?
Well, if the goal was to get into field goal territory, even though it'll be a long attempt, I think they accomplished that.
And sometimes you have plays for that. It's not always a 1st down when you want 3. Get a little bit closer, making an easier shot.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to concede to the defense, and they know what you're trying to get done, and to try and get any more than that is almost folly. Take what you can get, maybe have an opportunity to put 3 points on the board.
And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around with the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game. They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
But he was stopped on that play. But he's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
The target that time, Michael Thomas. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall. Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
So put another 3 on the board, and all things considered, a good opening drive here to begin the 3rd quarter.
It sure was. I think as a head coach, you're happy to come out and put a little drive together, take the 3 points, and build on your lead.
They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Get a little closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Again, it's Mixon. And he will fight his way forward to about the 23-yard line. Give him 2 yards that time, and it's going to leave him with a 3rd and 11 situation. Not the start to the drive they were looking for. That run doesn't do much at all.
No, not at all, and it leaves them with 3rd and long. And you know, this is the time of game where these drives really, really start to matter. They've got to make some moves. But no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. And the numbers show the improvement, and this is kind of what we thought we would expect to see from him. I know we overanalyze these things sometimes, but what switch? What flipped that switch?
Sometimes I think when you're as great as he is, you just kind of roll out each game and expect good things to happen. And that's not always the case. Those guys on the other side of the ball, they're the NFL 2 for a reason. So maybe at halftime he gets a chance to regroup, kind of get it back together, get a little extra resolve, and now he's putting...
And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by the linebacker, Vontaze Burfict. And he will bring it back. It's a pick six for a Bengals TD.
I know it's hard to believe, but sometimes guys who are built with the dimension of linebackers can actually get lost from sight by the quarterback.
Well, they're usually not the tallest guys.
So, yeah, that allows them sometimes to kind of hide down in there, kind of get a little bit lower, and maybe he just never saw him. But, boy, he sure wishes he had. He picked it off and ran it all the way back for a touchdown.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now Breeze to try again after the pick six. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
But you're going to tell me, good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do...
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. William Jackson with a pick. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. They had him back deep, got the interception, and now they start inside the 10.
Partner forgets starting inside the red zone. They're inside the green zone. From the 10-yard line in, a lot of teams call it that because that's the money zone. Get it into the end zone and make your cash.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
Now Mixon. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score one touchdown,
you want two.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got one, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
And now it's 2nd and goal. And he pushes forward, but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4 down territory.
Back now in Cincinnati. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point, just a few. Well, they held him out on 2nd down, and now here's 3rd and goal. Despite only needing 1, Dalton to throw. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. Tyler Boyd, a 1-yard touchdown reception. And the Bengals have taken the lead here in the 4th. And how about that, giving us our 5th lead change of the game? It's been back and forth.
No doubt about it, and right now, they're ahead, but they can't relax at all because if we've had 5 lead changes, I'm kind of betting on a 6th.
Yeah, we might see a 6th. Trailing in the 4th, this close of a game, that's a penalty you just can't afford.
It's an absolute killer, and it's one that drives coaches and teammates insane.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Saints coming out now to take the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off near the 29. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
Well, some credit there to A.J. Green because he's so tough to cover. Sometimes he causes those penalties.
And he's one of the more difficult guys to cover in the NFL because of his ability to do just about anything on a route. Hard to do. Creates a lot of pass interference calls.
Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. A critical error there in a tight game of the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
Staying on the ground on first with Kamara. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters. No reason to lighten up now. Flush to his right. Now on the run. He'll throw it back deep over the middle. So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. Breeze finding Snead there for a Saint first down.
One of the selling points of the in route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver, and almost on a direct shot, able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Here's Breeze to throw. Buying time to his left. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down. Well, there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the fourth quarter, picking up the first.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time, and that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
Throwing now is Breeze.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting run. So much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had the feel that they would come back and try it on 4th down.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And caught right side, Green. And he's brought down after a good gain. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
He was looking for his favorite target, A.J. Green, that time. That'll bring up second down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Dalton on the draw to Mixon. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with third and still 7 yards to go. Now the Bengals on third down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is 3rd and 7. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at about the 43. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down. Here's Kevin Huber now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bathema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he's got a good gain of 7 up to the 37.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's got to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now. And here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you've had a nice day running the football, and that's what his offensive line wants for him and for themselves.
It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
But they didn't accomplish their goal. They didn't get a stop there, gave up another first down. They have all 3 timeouts in their pocket. I think defensively, you got to start thinking about using them here.
I was just going to ask you at what point you think now's the go time?
I think now's the go time. I don't think you sit back and wait because they can take a lot of time off the clock between plays and run 3 to 4 and really put you in a stressful spot.
They run it again with Kamara. Nifty move. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead. And the 8th play on this drive coming up. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. Again, it's Kamara. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. On second down, Kamara. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Breeze is looking to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Breeze going to throw. And this is caught. And that could seal it. It's a touchdown.
Well, that was absolutely ideal for them, wasn't it? Trying to salt this game away. I think one of my kids just graduated in the amount of time they had the football. That was absolutely impressive.
Everybody wants those salt away the game drives. What makes them successful?
Well, when you're able to mix run-pass, when you're able to control the football and stay ahead of the chains, I'm using every cliche I know, but that's how you get it done because you're not taking negative plays, and that way you're able to run what you want to run when you get a chance to call it.
Big spot, Andy Dalton. And he is out of bounds on the other side of midfield. A very solid gain of 27. Working the sideline there. Good route, good catch. First down, and he gets out of bounds.
Now you have to like the play calling because you have to run some guys down the middle of the field to draw some of the defenders away. They can't just let them guard the sideline exclusively. That's how it's going to work. Sidelines and incompletions to use the clock.
And Green with a catch left side. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Dalton saying, let's get going here, guys, as he rallies him to get set. So Dalton now. And a right side completion here by LaFell. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. So now Dalton. He's going to let it fly. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a one-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance.
Here's Bullock now for the extra point. And the lead is down to a field goal now. So there is still time, a little over 50 seconds to go, but this becomes a critical onside kick. And the Saints are going to get to this one, so that should about do it. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though now. This one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
Breeze leaves this one with Kamara. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and they'll be facing a 3rd and 12. A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the